You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Welcome to Catholic Chicago.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Melissa Link from the Archdiocese of Chicago Office of Catholic Schools, and I'm joined remotely by Ronnie Faison, the principal at St. Francis de Sales High School in Chicago. We'd both like to welcome you to this edition of Catholic Schools Today. We're broadcasting on WNDZ Radio 750 AM, and we're also streaming to our Facebook community and also on our YouTube channel, Catholic Chicago. And there you are, Ronnie. It's nice to see you.
I know. I feel like we're back together again. The clan's all here. I'm happy.
It's been a few months, hasn't it?
It has, but it's exciting to be back here with you. And we're in this like really special time with Easter right around the corner. So it's great.
Nice. And you were just telling me before we went on air that you'll be on Easter break next week. You had your spring break, but everybody's looking forward to the last 35 days of school.
Absolutely. But it's also a good time just to, reflect on all the things that we've achieved all school year. And I know as educators, this tends to be our busiest time with planning for the next school year. So I think that's what they don't teach you in principal school, is how busy those summers really are for you.
But it's an exciting time, too. The kids are real excited. I'm sure the teachers are excited. It's been a whirlwind of a school year, and just amazing that we're chalking up another one to tick off the list. So thanks for all that you do as a school leader, and to all of our school leaders and teachers for everything that they do every day for our students and their families. Fantastic. Ronnie, would you like to kick off our first segment with our first guest, who is another esteemed archdiocesan principal?
I'm so excited to have her. Ms. Lynn Letourneau is here. She's the principal of Divine Providence School. Divine Providence School hosts an all-school service day that really pushes the academic achievement, spiritual growth, and helping those in need. And I think that's the core of the work that we do is, yes, we are schools, but we really are an extension of our community. I always tell my community, I said, we're not an island. It takes all of us to do this work. And I just think that that's such an important part of the work that we do from day to day. So I'm just so excited to hear more about the all-school service day and what you guys have in store for the event.
Great. Well, thank you very much for inviting me today. We've really tried to weave some service into this whole school year because, as we know, the last couple of years, it's made it a lot more difficult to have some outreach. But this year, so we really wanted to have service be a big part of our school year. So we've been doing service all along, but we're really excited that next month, it's going to be an all-school service day. So all the way from our youngest 3-year-olds that are in preschool all the way up to our 8th graders, are all going to be involved in different aspects of service. And the theme is feeding the community. So we wanted to feed different various aspects of not only our school, our parish, but even the community that surrounds us. Because like you said, it takes everybody to do this. So it'll be broken down by grade levels. Our youngest crusaders, for our preschoolers, our junior kindergarten and kindergarten, they're going to be what we say, feeding our hearts. So they're going to be creating special cards that will be distributed to our parish and community homebound people, as well as first responders. Grades 1, 2, and 3, first, second, and third, are feeding our environment. So they are going to pot flowers, and those are going to be distributed to parishioners and community members. Grades 4 and 5 are going to be feeding the spirit, and they're going to work in groups, and they're going to create no-sew blankets, and those are then going to be given to the Westchester Food Pantry, which we've been working with this year to be distributed. And then grades 6, 7, and 8, along with a lot of chaperones, are going to be visiting Feed My Starving Children. So that's going to be one of our big field trips this year, that they get to go ahead and experience that, which most of them never have had that experience. And for all of us who have been there, we know that it's an amazing time to be able to do so much, which feels like for so many people, even though you don't realize it while you're doing it.
Yeah,
absolutely. And where did this idea come from? What was the core of it?
So the idea originated actually with our school advisory board. So we took the Catholic identity portion of the school advisory board, and they put their heads together, and they tried to figure out what they thought would be best for our school community. So it really sprouted from the school advisory board and those members that came together, and they came up with a theme, and then as a group they came up with the different grade levels and how they would take that theme and build it into the grade levels and what they could do in service.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I just think the work that you're doing is so important. And I love how even the little ones, right? Like you're teaching them very early that they have a voice and they can impact change. And I think that's some of the most powerful work that we can do with kids, is allowing them to see that, yes, there are these issues that exist in the world, but these are solutions. And this is how you become an active agent of that work. I think that's amazing.
Absolutely. And we have to start when they're little, because their world is so small. They don't even realize the bigger extent of the world out there. So that's why, we'll talk with them, and we'll talk with them about who these are going to be going to. And they've done similar things like that this year. And it's really awesome when they're able to make a connection, because those homebound people will then write back. And so then it's nice to get that connection with them, that someone reached out to them. They really love getting these cards, and they love just the faith that it brings to them. And then they write back, and we love getting that and sharing that with our children.
I love how you got your Catholic Identity Committee among your faculty and staff involved in the project, because it helps all of us as adults, just as much as students, to understand ways that we can put our faith into action, which is really important. And part of the reason why our Catholic schools exist is to help students understand their faith and to put it into action as young as 3 years old, as you said, which is fantastic. So I'm wondering, how are the students looking forward to this service day? And are you hearing any good things brewing among the students about what they're saying and what they're looking forward to?
So I would say the little ones are not as ready. They don't know exactly what's going on yet. One of the things that's really sprouted from this, that's also really been awesome, is to see all of the parents who are taking their time to be with us that day, because this isn't just work for students and teachers. There's a lot of volunteers that are going to be coming in. I would say probably our 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, they're probably the most excited, because we haven't had very many field trips. So to be able to go on the bus together and with their chaperones and to do something like this, it's definitely different and something they haven't been able to do in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good point, is that we haven't been able to come together in a couple of years to do anything with one another. And so great that you're able to come together as a community and to offer service to one another, to your school and to the wider community. And then there's that great parishioner connection too. Are you finding, Lynn, that a lot of parishioners are getting involved as some of the volunteers who'll be helping you out that day?
A lot of it, of course, our families are parishioners. So, they look forward to helping like that. I think it's probably a best kept secret right now with our parishioners, but once they start seeing the product of this day, I think that's when they're really going to be excited about what our students are doing, when they see those flowers that they're taking home. And it's something that's been here rooted in the school, and they're going to take it, and it's an extension of the school and the parish community to their home.
Yeah, absolutely. And you seem really excited too.
I'm sorry. You talked about the 3 themes: the feeding our hearts, our environment, and our spirit. I love that. How did you get to that point? How did you pick those themes as things you wanted to focus on?
So that was the creativity of my school board. They came together, and they just thought that was a great bonding theme, that they can come up with useful service projects that would go along with that. And I have to credit my school board with that fantastic work.
Are there any other fundraising projects or service projects or community building projects that you've worked on as a school community this past year, Lynn? I know it's been hard in the context of COVID, but has there been anything else that you found to be really life-giving as you bring your community together too?
Sure. So we've done several other projects that have been done not necessarily as a whole school, but different grade levels. So back in November, of course, we collected food. for the food pantry, and we were able to put those into crate baskets that would be given away. This was kind of a tradition that was done at St. Joseph High School that was down the street from us, and we took over that tradition for them this year. So we were able to get the baskets and all of the items that they wanted in those baskets, and we assembled those, and then they came and picked them up. Another service project that we've actually did do as a school this year was we supported the Live Like Rue Foundation. And Live Like Rue Foundation is for animals who have had a cancer diagnosis. So we got the pets involved on this. And so students were making dog toys. They brought in different dog treats, and they also donated money. So the foundation will assist families whose animal has had a cancer diagnosis, not necessarily just a dog. And they will assist families if they need financial support, or they will also just drop off baskets for those animals as they're going through their diagnosis and getting treatment for it. So of course, pets hold a soft spot in all the children's hearts here. And then our 8th graders have been making sandwiches this year. This was pretty cool too on our end, because this is something we worked with our FSP lunch person on, where they've been bringing in the bread and the peanut butter and jelly, and they've been putting the sandwiches together that then our lunch person would put together and then take into the city for children who need food.
I was in a school visit yesterday, and I thought it was really fantastic. But in the morning, they had a round table. They do it every morning. And the question for yesterday was, what would you give to every student? What, if, as a student yourself, what would you give to every student in the world? And the answer that every kid almost gave was that I would give them a hug, right? I would give them food, because a lot of people don't have it, right? But how empathetic kids can be when given the opportunity. And I think you're giving them a wonderful opportunity to really like give back and see the fruits of that. My mom had this really annoying thing that as a kid I hated, right? So she goes, before you eat Thanksgiving dinner, we're going to serve Thanksgiving dinner. And so we would go to our local pantry and do it. I'm like, why do we have to do this? Like, this makes no sense. And now as an adult, it was those things that shaped and moved. And, so the things that you're giving your kids are just so invaluable. And we know that works, doesn't stop in the classroom, and you're really pushing them out into their community to do it. And I think it's amazing. Is this a first year that you've done this, or is this an annual affair?
So this is the first year that we've done the all school service project, and hopefully, providing everybody stays well and healthy, this is something that we'll be able to make into an annual day for our school, if not maybe more than one day.
Yeah, fantastic. Lynn and Ronnie, we're going to pause just for a brief second, but stay with us. There's more Catholic Schools Today coming your way.
Did you know that Catholic Charities accepts car donations? If you're ready to free up space in your garage and put a stop to all those expenses that go along with owning a car, we will gratefully accept your donation, whether the car is running or not. You choose a pickup time that is convenient for you, and we will make the donation as easy as possible, free of charge. You'll receive a charitable donation receipt as well. We accept all types of vehicles nationwide, and you will know that your donation is made to Catholic Charities, an agency you can trust. To learn more about donating your car, call 877-786-4483. That's 877-786-4483. Thank you.
I feel special. I feel great. I got good grades.
We've seen a huge surge in our kids now meeting or exceeding grade level. Come check us out. You may have never thought we were an option before.
We
are hiring. Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Chicago is looking for mission-driven individuals who want to help make a positive difference in the lives of people in need throughout Cook and Lake counties. Be part of a diverse, talented team of professionals in the largest human services organization in the Midwest. We are dedicated to helping people chart a more stable, happier future for themselves, and we accompany anyone in need, regardless of faith, gender, race, or ethnicity. Competitive salaries and generous benefits add to the satisfaction you'll have every day, knowing that you're helping us amplify our impact in Chicago. To see our list of employment opportunities, visit CatholicCharities.net.
Welcome back, everybody, to Catholic Schools Today. I'm Melissa Link from the Archdiocese of Chicago Office of Catholic Schools, and I'm joined remotely by my co-host, Ronnie Faison, principal at St. Francis de Sales High School in Chicago. We're broadcasting on WNDZ Radio 750 AM, as well as streaming on our YouTube channel, Catholic Chicago. We're rejoined by Lynn Letourneau, who is the principal at Divine Providence School, to chat a little bit more about her school's first ever all-school service day, which is coming up next month, in which they're engaging all of their students in service to their parish, to their school, and to their wider community, preschool through grade 8, which is a huge undertaking and really exciting for us to talk about with Lynn. And I know before the break, Ronnie was sharing a really fantastic experience. I thought it was a fantastic experience of being at, was it a conference or a workshop? And
I visited a school yesterday, Principal Jody out in Burbank, and it was amazing. She does an all morning meeting with her students, and it was just beautiful to see them all in one space, and how articulate kiddos can be if give it a chance and a platform to stand on. But yeah, I just loved it. If I could give the prompt was, what would I give to every kid in the world? And there were two answers: a hug and food. And I thought that it was just it was perfect, right? Like every kid needs that.
Absolutely. I think it's a great question. It's a really great way to really see what kids are thinking about and to engage with kids in their experiences and their outreach to others. But it makes me wonder, Lynn, if you're still there with us, likewise, what are some of the big dreams that you have for your own students? What do you dream for them? What do you dream for them as part of an all-school service day? What do you hope they get out of the experience as they move into the next years of their life?
I really hope that this service day really shows them how strong their faith can be and how they can practice their faith and take it with them. I feel that through COVID and, losing that, hey, we're not going as a family to church every week for a while, and we weren't able to do these things, to get them restarted and to get them excited and saying, hey, this is not my faith, this is not their faith, this is our faith, and that we work on it together and we grow in our faith together. And once you can get the students growing in their faith, then it becomes contagious, and then they're going to take that home and make their family have more faith and just bring back that Catholic identity that bonds our school with our families together, and let that be something that they're going to remember for the rest of their life.
Yeah, I think that's incredibly impactful. As you look toward the future of growing the event, what are some ideas that you may have about the event in coming years?
I would like to see that not only is it involved with our students, maybe our students even having more of an idea of the planning of it. What do they think they would want to do? How do they think they can help not only their school, parish, and their wider community? What are the ideas that are going on in their head? Maybe allow give even some of the students, and when I say students, I don't always mean just the older students and helping plan, but get those younger students ideas too. What do they think they can do just to be able to show their expression of faith through service to others? They have great ideas, those little ones sometimes. Sometimes they may make us laugh, but sometimes they really say things that have a lot of insight to them. So to get them planning more of what we're doing, and to hopefully maybe even extend this to the parish, where the parish then can have a parish-wide service day, where it's not only the school, but now we're bringing the parishioners right in there with us and having them even have a farther outreach.
Yeah, what you're talking about, Lynn, really reminds me of the importance of reflection for students, for all of us really, when we engage in service or we engage in outreach to each other or just try something new. It's really important for us to be able to reflect on that experience and to unpack that with others. And it sounds like, you're thinking of that and you're thinking of ways to engage students in that reflective piece of the day.
Right. And it's really not about, oh, I'm bringing a can of soup because we're bringing food in for somebody, but do they really know who is getting that can of soup? Do they know how what they're bringing is going to affect the lives of others? So yes, definitely a lot of that reflection. How did my service help someone, and how did that make me feel doing that service for others?
That's huge. So at St. Francis de Sales, we run a food pantry every third Saturday of the month, and we move about 35,000 pounds of food with Chicago Food Depository. And I always tell people, it's the interactions that we have during those hours that we're with our families and our community. We're saying we see you, right? And we know that there's a struggle and we know that there's a need, and we're trying to, as the community, as the school, to meet that need. And so we're slated to be the first pantry in the city of Chicago to be exclusively ran by students. And I can take no credit for the work that they do. My kids are fantastic. They're the coolest things ever. But I say this to you to say, if you would love to team up and do some of that work together, I'd love to have you guys down. This is an official invitation for you guys to come down with us. But I think it's really cool work, and I think it's amazing what you're doing. But yes, if there's any opportunity for St. Francis de Sales to help in any way, and you are absolutely welcome to come down on any of those Saturdays to come and work with us. We'd love to have you.
Thank you so much. That's a fantastic invitation. We'll have to talk more about that.
Love that.
Awesome. I know it's a lot of hard work to plan a day of service for everybody in a school building. And Lynn, you're running a pretty big school out in Westchester. So kudos to you and to your teachers and everybody on your team for collaborating and putting the day together, because it is a really heavy lift. And I know just from working with you, Lynn, that you are completely invested in the Catholic identity of your school community, and you are truly a faith leader that has the genuine heart of her students in mind. So I'm grateful for that, and just acknowledging your leadership, especially around Catholic identity, because that's how I work with you. But I imagine you have other favorite parts about working with your school community. So we're wondering if you might want to share a little bit else that you enjoy working with as principal of Divine Providence.
Gosh, there's so many aspects of it. I don't even know where I could start, but I mean, it just starts at the beginning of the day and welcoming those children into school. And, sometimes that, hey, happy Monday is what that little boy or little girl might need when they're walking in, because maybe they were having a rough morning. So just by getting them ready for their school day, working with the children all day long. Okay, of course, being job as a principal, normally the ones who are coming to my school or into my office may need a little extra work than the ones that I invite. But, working with children, even if they have a behavior issue, finding out what's the root of that issue and why are they acting the way they are, or to give those students who come to our office, some of them can earn what we call a Crusader Angel. They were caught doing something good in the school, and celebrating that with them. And every month we celebrate with a Crusader Rally. And again, we celebrate all the positives of what's going on in the school. And all of this, like you kind of said, Melissa, couldn't happen if I didn't have a fantastic staff. And my teachers and my staff are just amazing. And it's it's things like this that, we get the ideas and we take it to them, and they're able to run with it and to make it a great day and making it meaningful for our kids, not only in service, but the academics that they're getting every day. And only this could be accomplished if we have parents who are going to work with us as well. So having their support, which we have amazing supportive parents. My school board has really done an outstanding job of helping coordinate this as well. Gosh, there's just so much that can go on and on about the joys of being a principal.
That's so good to hear. It probably rings a bell with Ronnie too, I imagine, who's a principal in her own school. So that's fantastic.
Absolutely. I think you're doing amazing work. I just can't wait to see it grow and continue to, be amazing. I mean, I know you've already affected so many people already, but I can only imagine what's going to come in the following years. That's the fun part to watch.
Right. And then just what happens beyond what happens in school? How are we able to get that instilled in our children, where maybe a group might think, hey, that was kind of fun going to feed my starving children. Why don't we get a group and go do it over the summer kind of thing? That's when, when you see them doing it on their own, to me, that's really fulfilling. It's one thing to come to school to do it, but it's another thing when you see them doing things on their own time to make a difference for other people.
Yeah. So Easter and spring.
I know you can, Principal, I know you can gush about your school till you're blue in the face. I know you can, but tell me what makes it special. Like, what are the things, the intangible things that they're not going to find at any other school but yours?
I just think the rigorous academics that we offer with the teachers truly love their students. They really want the best for their students when they walk in. They want to see their students succeed. And that has twofold, doing what the student needs. And that is kind of sometimes what the student likes, and learning to help them appreciate when it's maybe something that they don't like or something that they're uncomfortable doing. So yeah, that's probably right there.
Yeah.
Love that.
Great.
Love that.
Well, we are going to
just having a great parish community that supports us.
That's
and
important.
the families that are here. That whenever we need something, we just need to reach out and ask for it, and they're willing to help us right back.
That's always so helpful and so great to have that support. We are going to wrap up this segment and say a huge thank you to Lynn Letourneau for joining us from Divine Providence School. But stay with us and come back after break. There's more Catholic Schools Today coming your way. At Catholic Charities, we fight hunger in Chicago throughout the year. Our 6 regional offices in Cook and Lake counties work together to offer sit-down and to-go meals to anyone in need. We deliver meals to those who are homebound, and our 8 food pantries offer 3 to 4 days of food supplies based on household size. Participants in these programs have the opportunity to learn about other Catholic charity services that strengthen individuals, families, and their communities. The challenges for those dealing with food insecurity are especially great during the winter months. To learn how you can help those who are hungry in your neighborhood, visit CatholicCharities.net or call 312-655-7525. That's 312-655-7525. Thank you for your generosity.
We are at the Most Blessed Trinity Parish Food Pantry in Waukegan.
And here we care for people in need. There was definitely an uptick in the needs for services.
We doubled our volume after COVID hit, from servicing about 250 families a week to about 500 a week. We supplied bread, tortillas, vegetables, milk, cheese, butter, proteins, fish, chicken, eggs.
Well, the annual Catholic Appeal has been a tremendous help to us, especially over the past year and a half.
Without the annual Catholic appeal, we might have to close our doors. Our parish is the largest one in the Archdiocese, but is very poor. We think about food and we think about nourishment, but we also nourish the soul, provide that connection to humanity.
The good works here are made possible through the Annual Catholic Appeal. Make your gift at annualcatholicappeal.com.
Catholic Charities has had the privilege of helping people in need in Cook and Lake County for more than 100 years. We would like to take this opportunity to thank our frontline workers who, despite the unprecedented challenges of the past 2 years, continue to excel at their jobs every day. From the warehouse staff members who pack boxes of nutritious foods for low-income seniors, to the dedicated WIC employees who have remained open for families with children under the age of 5, to our volunteers and restaurant partners who ensure that meals are available for those experiencing hunger, to our service coordinators and our professional counselors who continue their vital work in innovative ways, to our food pantry staff, and to all those who work at Catholic Charities Call Center, finding solutions for every person who reaches out to us for help. Charity is at the heart of all you do, and we salute you.
The Cemetery Ministry is a core ministry of our Catholic faith tied to the corporal works of mercy. It's comforting to know that our Catholic cemeteries are caring for the remains of our loved ones awaiting the resurrection. There are 44 Archdiocese of Chicago Catholic cemeteries willing to help you in your time of loss. Call 708-449-6100 or visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org. Catholic Cemeteries, serving the Catholic community since 1837.
You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. Now again, Catholic Chicago.
Welcome back, everyone, to Catholic Schools Today. I'm Melissa Link from the Archdiocese of Chicago Office of Catholic Schools, and I'm joined remotely by my co-host, Ronnie Faison, who is the principal at St. Francis de Sales High School in Chicago. We're broadcasting to WNDZ Radio 750 AM, as well as streaming on our YouTube channel, Catholic Chicago. For this next segment of our show, we are very happy to welcome Principal Darlene Potenza from St. Zachary School in Des Plaines. And Darlene's going to share with us a little bit about the ECLIP program at her school, and just a little bit about ECLIP. The Archdiocese of Chicago has partnered with the University of Notre Dame's Alliance for Catholic Education on a pilot program called Early Childhood Language Intensive Program, or otherwise ECLIP. This is the first year of this pilot language program across 10 Catholic schools in the Archdiocese of Chicago, and St. Zachary School happens to be one of those schools. Darlene, are you there? Welcome to the show.
Yes, I'm here. Thanks for having me.
Great. Nice to see you. I know we just chatted on the phone 2 or 3 days ago.
Yes.
But nice to see you. Great.
We're having a great time with our ECLIP program. We did it a little differently this year. Mm-hmm. So what we do is we do our language intensive program in both Spanish and Polish. So when we look at our language intensive program in the preschool, we teach the students in either Polish or Spanish during a half-hour period every single day. We alternate it so that our students that are half-day children can also get that exposure. But during that half hour, they are spoken to and worked with only in that native language.
That's a pretty big deal and a heavy lift, I think, for students and for teachers, too, who might not be used to that instructional experience. Can you tell us a little bit more about the context of how St. Zachary got involved with ECLIP and just how you got interested in it from the get-go?
Well, looking at our demographic in our area, we do have a lot of Polish people in our parish, but in addition, we are a very big melting pot over in St. Zachary. So one of the things that we wanted to do through Renew My Church is to look at how can we address all the different languages. So looking at our Renew My Church grouping St. Stephen's and St. Mary's, and the Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe, they all have a large Spanish contingent. So we decided, let's look at how we can address both the Polish community that is our immediate and our Spanish community of our Renew My Church grouping to bring us all together. This was one way I felt we could bring it into our school a little bit closer. So that's how we've been working with it.
Principal Potenza, is there an option for students to opt in and opt out, or are all students included in the program?
They can opt in and opt out. So we have one ECLIP program classroom, and we have one that's non-ECLIP program. So the parents can choose whether they would like to be in the ECLIP classroom, and then they get to choose the language that they would like them to, whether they want to learn the Polish or they want to learn the Spanish, or they just choose to be in the regular preschool program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's fascinating. I just think it's an amazing opportunity. All the data says, right, that when you expose kiddos to language early on, that you just see such a return on their ability to problem solve and critically think and all these things. And so is there an age where at that point you are saying, you know what, if you've gotten to 5th grade, we can't do it, right? But is it 1st grade, or like at what point can they opt in at that point?
Currently, we're at the preschool. This was our first go around with this, and we're looking to expand it to our kindergarten for next year. So we're working with Notre Dame to see what are some ways we can actually accomplish this within the next year. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We do, however, offer Spanish preschool through 8th grade for all of our classes. So they still are taught the language, just not as an intensive program as ECLIP is.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
It is fascinating. Darlene, what kind of supports is Notre Dame providing to you to help you and to help your teachers and just to give resources for this kind of intensive language program?
They've been fantastic. So they have been mentoring my teachers. My teacher meets with another teacher from another school that's also in the program, and they go through the curriculum. The curriculum was provided, additional books. Also through the districts, I've been getting help with, okay, here's some of the supplemental books that we can give you. So we've been working with our surrounding districts to make this really fly for us. And so far, so good. We've been doing really well. It's amazing. Our parents are like, they're being introduced to things that they didn't know, and their kids are teaching them. I haven't spoken Spanish in quite a few years, and going in the classroom, the kids are like, Mrs. Potenza, we're going to teach you this. And they go ahead. They are just loving it. So it's just phenomenal to come in there and see what they can accomplish.
Yeah, absolutely.
I also think it's so powerful that you're making their culture a part of the work that you do every day, right? And that they get to celebrate that. And you're telling the families, this is the core of who we are as a school. So I think that's so great. Is that one of the reasons, as you kind of conceptualize being a part of the program, that you thought, okay, I want to make that connection. I want to make sure that my community is part of it.
Right. We're one big family here, but we want to celebrate everybody, all their differences. So that's one of the things that we look at is what can we do to celebrate everybody's differences as part of our family.
Love that.
Yeah. I love how you brought in.
The kids are adorable. They go to church, they sing songs church, they've learned prayers in church. As long as, additional classroom activities, they do poems, all kinds of fun experiences.
Yeah, it's
Melissa,
great.
she has to invite us down. We got to see that.
I'm excited.
Come on out any day.
I love that you brought Renew My Church into the experience. I don't know that I would have went there as a school leader about that, but it's a great way to take that experience of renewal and a call to growth and to talk about how you can do that in school in an inclusive way and invite members of the entire grouping community into the school space to learn and to celebrate each other's culture. So that's really great. And, something I wouldn't have thought of, but really kudos to you for, being that creative thinker in your community about how your school can really embrace that with the Renew My Church spirit. So that's awesome.
Thank you. Father Sanchez has come and celebrated masses with us from the Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe. We're planning to go do some retreats over at the Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe next year, once things settle down a little bit with the COVID experience that we've all been through. But these are things that we are all looking forward to building our community and making it stronger and as inclusive as we can.
So you're working with Spanish and Polish right now. I'm curious, just curious if you're thinking of onboarding any potentially new languages as part of the ECLIP experience in coming years.
I would not be opposed to it. I just know what I can accomplish right now successfully.
Yeah.
And I just need to take it a little slower.
For sure. It's a big undertaking.
And I just wonder, I mean, you know, we always talk about tier 1 interventions, right? Like, let's say we find a kiddo who's not being successful in a particular program, right?
Ronnie, you froze on me?
Are we okay now?
Yes, you are.
Try again.
Okay.
Sorry.
I just wondered, right, as far as like tier 1 interventions, let's say if we find a kiddo who's struggling with some, you know, with some of the language pieces, and is there a process for supporting them and then figuring out whether the dual languages, it continues to be a fit?
It would. We would look at that. As far as our teachers, they work individually. We do have small class sizes. So when we're working in small groups, our teachers are looking at that. And they're addressing, you know, if it's something that we see that they're struggling with, we will take a step back. Okay. But it's a very fluid situation.
I love that.
Absolutely. You know, I'm thinking about my prior experience as a teacher in the Middle East. I was in the Middle East for 4 years teaching in an Arabic-speaking community, and I don't speak Arabic, but the school that I was teaching at taught English and French to their smallest students. So Darlene, you're reminding me about the importance of language learning for our earliest learners. And for everybody, but I just recall leaning on the kindergarten and first grade, second grade students to help me with my own language barriers because they were trilingual at that early age, which is really fascinating. And I always was hopeful for our own schools and students that they could have that opportunity to absorb languages and to have that skill set as they move into their young adult years. So that's fascinating and a huge gift that I think you're providing your community and your students.
It's been a phenomenal experience. The kids love it. The kids are always excited to share what they have learned. Just the excitement when you walk into that classroom. That's what is palpable within the school.
Yeah.
So are the kiddos, do they ever, because I'm just trying to visualize what that looks like, right? So we have 3 different classrooms, I would assume, right? 2 track, one.
We have 2 different classrooms.
Okay.
So in the one classroom, they do not participate in the ECLIP classroom, in the ECLIP program. The other classroom does have the ECLIP program, which I have a teacher that speaks Polish and a teacher that speaks Spanish. So when it's ECLIP time, they divide into one rug area, the other rug area, and they do their thing simultaneously. They do different activities, and they may just do the same activity in a different language.
In my mind, all I hear is like a beautiful like song of like Polish and Spanish and English. Like that's all I hear is your song. I think that's so cool.
It is. And even like when we were celebrating the Virgin Mother, the kids were singing songs in both Polish and Spanish for the Virgin Mother. They all made a flower to put at the feet of the mother, a paper flower, and then they sang their songs. I shared a video of, actually, I can see it at the top of my screen.
Yeah, look at that.
Of them doing it in Spanish.
Fantastic.
Principal Potenza, I feel like I miss my calling. The littles, they get me every time. They just do.
Come down anytime you want to visit us.
Oh my gosh, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen.
They are adorable.
It is adorable. And with that beautiful image on the front of our screens, we are going to pause for a few minutes and take a break, but stay with us. There's more Catholic Schools Today coming your way.
At Catholic Charities, we want to remind you that we are here for anyone who is a victim of domestic violence or anyone who has a concern about someone they think may be a victim. Domestic violence affects millions of people each year, both women and men, of every race, religion, culture, and economic status. It includes physical, psychological, and emotional abuse, inflicted in both subtle and overt ways. The impact on children can be devastating. If you or someone you know are victims of domestic violence and you are looking for a place for healing and recovery, call us at 773-935-3434 in Cook County and 224-430-4977 in Lake County. A safer, happier tomorrow can begin today.
I feel special. I feel great. I got good grades.
We've seen a huge surge in our kids now meeting or exceeding grade level. Come check us out. You may have never thought we were an option before.
Catholic Charities Veterans Employment Services help veterans find and maintain employment through job readiness training, resume writing assistance, mock interviews, and job placement counseling. We work with a wide array of employers and community partners to help veterans reach their career goals. We owe a debt of gratitude to all of our veterans for the sacrifices they made to serve our nation. It is our privilege now to assist them. To learn more about Catholic Charities Veterans Employment Program in Cook County, call 773-808-2954. In Lake County, call 847-782-4219. You can also learn more at CatholicCharities.net. To all United States veterans, thank you for your service. Welcome back, everyone, to Catholic Schools Today. I'm Melissa Link from the Archdiocese of Chicago, Office of Catholic Schools, and I'm joined remotely by my co-host, Ronnie Faison, principal at St. Francis de Sales High School in Chicago. We're broadcasting on WNDZ Radio 750 AM, as well as streaming on our YouTube channel, Catholic Chicago. We're also here welcoming back our guest principal from St. Zachary School, Darlene Potenza, who's telling us a little bit about the ECLIP program, which is the Early Childhood Language Intensive Program in partnership with the University of Notre Dame's Alliance for Catholic Education. And we're learning a lot about the great advantages and huge gifts that learning languages for our small children in our Catholic schools are. And before break, Darlene, you were sharing with us some video and some commentary about the kids singing in Polish and in Spanish for the Blessed Mother, which is so awesome and such a beautiful image. But we're also wondering, in addition to that, are there any other lessons or any other experiences with the ECLIP program that you've really enjoyed so far this year?
Just watching them learn how to answer questions and how to take ownership of their own learning. And they will teach you. They have no problem teaching me how to say my name in either Polish or Spanish. Their love for learning is just so evident with these kids. They go home and tell their parents, and then their parents are telling me, do we have a Spanish class or that I can take? Because I need to brush up on my Spanish from high school. And I'm like, well, guess what? They'll start teaching you. So it's expanding not only in our classrooms, but to the families that we are servicing and helping.
Yeah, that's great. You know, we also heard, Darlene, that St. Zachary hosted an event to benefit refugees from Ukraine, which is such an important activity for our students and such an important issue to keep at the forefront of our prayers and of our mindfulness in our school communities. Can you tell us a little bit more about that event to support refugees from Ukraine?
Yes, it was a couple Sundays ago. We partnered with St. Michael in the city. I'm sorry, St. Joseph the Betrothed in the city off of Cumberland. They are a Ukrainian Orthodox church, and they sent some singers to do a choir performance for us. Our students started with a prayer service, and then the choir joined in and was able to do some performances. And they did some of the traditional Ukrainian songs, all the way to different governmental songs that they were able to share.
I love that. I just think it's such an important thing for us to come together as a community and let everyone know that this is what we're called to do as Catholics, right? Is to come forward and help those that need us the most. Anna Cirilli, the principal at St. Nicholas Cathedral School, I watch her doing amazing work, right, to support her community in this time where they need her. And so firstly, thank you. And I think you're just setting a wonderful example for your students of it's time for us to go to work. Let's go to work. And I think that's just a great piece of what you're instilling in your babies.
The parish raised over $20,000. It's one of our Lenten missions for this year was to raise money for the Ukraine. And wow. They have raised over $20,000. So this is a community that loves people that want to help in any way they can. And they always step forward for service.
That's great. That's really great.
I adore it. I adore it. I think it's a wonderful message and an amazing example that you're setting for your students. Sometimes it's hard for us to see what work, right? We go to church and we do these things, but what does it look like to be Catholic, right? To carry that Christian mission, that God-centered mission in the work that we do. And I think that's a wonderful example of this is what we can physically do every day, right? Is change the world by 1%, because 1% change is still change. And even in the way that you're, embedding this programming into your school, you're saying, yes, we're different. We're also exactly the same, right? And I think that message of unity is really special.
Exactly. Our upper level students are always looking for ways to do service for others. It's something that they work really hard on, and I'm so proud of them for doing that.
So as we think of the future for your language program, what does that look like for you? In a perfect scenario, all goes your way, what is your hopes for your school?
Ideally, I would love to see it progress all the way through my grade levels. So we're working to see little by little. Let's start with preschool. Let's move it to kindergarten. Let's keep expanding it to see that, everybody is celebrated here, that everybody is unique, but everybody is part of our family. And that's one thing that our students really take to heart is we are one family. We are all one family under God.
That's so great. And one of the best parts of our Catholic schools, I think, is we have that community feel and that sense of inclusivity and respect for cultures and, ability to share who we really are with people and know that we'll be respected and loved for that because we are sons and daughters of God, which is fantastic. I wonder, when I asked Lynn Letourneau in our last segment, Darlene, what are some of your biggest dreams for your students? Some of the biggest dreams that you have for them as they learn languages, as they engage with other people, and as they move forward as young adults? What do you hope for them?
My hope for them is that they follow their dreams, that they can attain, and that they're happy. My biggest goal is to see them happy in whatever they want to accomplish. And I want to make it an integral part of their life that they're happy because they're going to bring that happiness to others. So that's one thing we work really hard on is what are we thankful for? What are all the gifts that we've received from God? And how do we share those with the broader community? Once we get our students to think that way, they will move forward and they will change this world, which is what we really want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. I know Easter is coming up for you, Darlene, and I don't know if spring break is coming up for you too, but there's a little break happening. I hope you're intending some good rest for yourself and some good break from the hamster wheel of school life. Is there anything coming up for the St. Zachary community for the rest of the year or over spring break that you're looking forward to?
Well, we have an Easter egg hunt on the 16th at 10 o'clock. Come out and join us. We've got over 1,200 Easter eggs that will be hiding in the field. So that's one thing. Tonight we have a fish fry in our PLC. So we have over 140 some people coming for the fish fry. So we've got lots of activities going on. And currently our 7th and 8th graders are in Springfield with Dr. Cinnamon's students. So we are looking at ways to make sure that even though we have small class sizes, we have the experiences and we will figure out ways to make things happen.
And anytime you add Dr. Cinnamon into the whole mix, right? She's just fantastic. She and I just adore her. We have a dream one day that she and I will open a school together, and then everybody's in trouble because we're just a blast in a glass together. But she's fantastic. But I love that. I just think you got so many things that are embedded in your community that are just so special. And that's why I love Catholic school, you know, and I think that's so special. You can't force me to go anywhere else. This just feels good.
Correct.
Awesome.
This is my 25th year with the Archdiocese of Chicago, so I know exactly how you feel.
So you owe us 25 more is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
There you go.
Well, we'll look forward to it and want to give you a big thanks, Darlene, for joining us today. If our listeners want to learn a little bit more about St. Zachary, can you share some contact information or the website that they can visit?
Sure. Please join us at St. Zachary's School. We're at 567 West Algonquin Road in Des Plaines. Our website is stzacharyschool.org. And please reach out to me, dpatenza at stzacharyschool.org for any more information.
Great. Thank you very much, Principal Potenza. We're going to wrap it up for today. Ronnie and I are so grateful that you can join us for this edition of Catholic Schools Today. We wish you a very, very blessed Holy Week. We wish you a joyful Easter. For those of you going on spring break, we hope you have a restful and really memorable spring break with whatever you have on your schedule to do, even if it's sleeping in and enjoying your time off. We hope you do that and rejoin us again next month for our May edition, our end of the school year edition of Catholic Schools Today. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Do you have an old bicycle that's not being used? Consider donating it to Catholic Charities Veterans Bike Project of Lake County. Skilled volunteers are refurbishing bicycles to make them safe and ready to be used by veterans to get to and from their new places of work. We also gratefully accept financial contributions that are used to purchase bike helmets and other safety accessories. Our veterans have faithfully served the United States, and now it is our privilege to serve them. For more information on the Veterans Bike Project of Lake County, call 847-782-4219. That's 847-782-4219.
Join us every Monday through Friday at this time for Catholic Chicago. You can stream our programs live or listen to past programs by visiting our website, archchicago.org, and clicking on Radio TV. And please connect with Catholic Chicago on social media.